Big Oil didn't want you to have. What if I told you the technology to make gas stations obsolete already existed? In 1994? Not a prototype, not a lab experiment, a working battery, driving a real car over 100 miles on a single charge. So why are you still paying for gas today? The answer involves an oil company, a fleet of electric cars crushed in the desert, and a self-taught inventor who was quietly silenced. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is a documented story, and by the end, you'll understand why one of the most important inventions of the 20th century spent its most crucial years locked away. His name was Stan Ovshinsky, and he wasn't a trained physicist. He was a self-taught inventor from Ohio, the son of a scrap metal collector. No PhD, no prestigious laboratory. What he had was a mind that saw what others couldn't. In the 1980s, he created something the automotive world had been chasing for decades, the NiMH battery, powerful enough to make electric cars actually practical. His battery could take an electric vehicle over 100 miles on a single charge, at a time when every expert insisted that was impossible. General Motors took notice. They put his batteries into a car called the EV1, and something unexpected happened. People didn't just like it, they loved it. For the first time, an electric car wasn't a science project. It was a real car that real people wanted to drive. And that's exactly when things got strange. In the year 2000, control of Ovshinsky's battery technology was sold, and soon after, it was acquired by Chevron, one of the largest oil companies on Earth. Think about that for a moment. The single most important electric car battery was now controlled by an oil company. And what did they do with it? They restricted it. Through a controlling stake, they gained power over how the large format batteries, the big ones, the ones cars actually needed, could be used and sold. Ovshinsky himself said, in interviews before his death, that he could not sell those large batteries for electric vehicles the way he wanted to. The technology that could have electrified the roads was, in effect, put on a shelf. And then came the part that still feels unbelievable. General Motors recalled every single EV1. Not sold, recalled. And the people who drove them didn't just like those cars. They loved them. When GM demanded the cars back, drivers begged to keep them. Some offered to sign away all liability. They wrote checks that GM refused to cash. And when the cars were finally taken away, a group of owners gathered in the desert and held an actual funeral, mourning a car. When was the last time anyone held a funeral for a product being taken away? Rows of perfectly working electric cars, flattened into scrap metal in the desert. The official reasons were always practical: cost, demand, patents. But step back and look at the shape of it. A revolutionary battery, bought by an oil giant and restricted. A fleet of working electric cars, crushed. A self-taught genius, silenced by the very industry his invention threatened. Stan Ovshinsky died in 2012. He kept inventing until the very end. Solar panels, hydrogen, energy storage, always chasing a world that ran on clean power instead of oil. He once said his goal was simple: to end the world's dependence on fossil fuels, and maybe that's exactly why his greatest invention spent its most important years locked away. The batteries in today's electric cars, they finally caught up to what Ovshinsky built decades ago. Everything you're excited about now, the range, the performance, he cracked it in the 90s, which leaves one question worth sitting with. Here's what I want to know from you. If these batteries had been allowed to grow in 1994, would we already be off oil by now? Or was it always going to play out this way? Drop your take in the comments. I read every single one. And if stories like this fascinate you, inventions that were buried, technologies they'd rather you never heard about, subscribe. Because there are dozens more, and I'm telling every one of them.